I think there was a lot of really good things. There's some things, there were so many different snaps, so many opportunities where we threw the football today, Bill. So there's going to be a lot of things we can go back and look at. I love the way that he continued to battle, took some shots, continued to respond, and those are things that we can take away from a positive.
Oh, a lot of things we can go back and look at. Sean McVay.
Yeah.
In a game that I think shocked the world,
right.
The fact that, first of all, that there's, 95 points scored, Bucks and Saints.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Rams were basically down the whole game, and it was almost like the Buccaneers had it in control.
They did.
All game.
Well, some early turnovers by the Rams offense certainly put the Bucks in the power position. Great first drive by the Bucks, okay? Second drive. The Rams are later on in the quarter, the Rams are kind of driving. Guess who? Shaquille Barrett gets around the edge, knocks the ball in the air. Goff gets an interception. Not Goff's fault, okay? The Bucks put a 50-yard drive together, score a touchdown. They go 14-0. Then Goff does throw a bad interception to Lamonte David. Bucks get like a 9-yard pass, one-play 9-yard drive. They're up 21-0 before the game's really even settled in.
Yep.
But it was impressive.
So we're doing the deep dive on Rams Bucks here because we put it out to Twitter.
Right.
You guys got to vote for 2 games. We got Bucks and Rams. We also got Lions and Chiefs. We'll do a little bit later on.
Yep.
So I've got the notes.
You got
Chris
the
Simms
notes.
Notes right here.
Yep.
The handwriting is not much easier to read from where you are than from where I am.
How dare you? How dare you? My script writing is phenomenal.
It's not bad.
Yes.
It's actually not bad.
It's just hard. It's somebody else's script writing.
It takes me a while to kind of get it.
On a photocopy.
And it's photocopied. Yeah, it's like 2 generations down.
Right.
So what do you want to start with? You want to start with Rams O against the Bucks D, or the Bucks D versus the Rams D?
Let's start with the Bucks O and Rams D, and then we'll get into the rest after that.
So here, can I throw something out?
Please throw it at me.
Jameis is obviously one of the most interesting parts of their offense.
Definitely.
But I know you made some notes here that they ran the ball well, which I think helped Jameis Winston.
No question.
I looked up something with Jameis, and we kept talking about the long passes with Bruce Arians, right? They're going to work the field. And I think they did that to a certain extent. But I was looking at passes behind the line of scrimmage to help him.
Yeah.
6 for 6, 50 yards, and one of his touchdowns.
Way to go.
Behind the line of scrimmage.
Way to go. That's how you slow down an over-aggressive pass rush. You want to stop Dante Fowler and Aaron Donald from flying up the field. Oh, screen to Godwin. Oh, screen to O.J. Howard. Screen to the running back. That'll slow them down because once they see it once or twice and they see somebody, okay, now let me go after it. So that, or you just get big plays out of it regardless, and that's what they did. They capitalized. It was a brilliant game plan by Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians. It really was, and we'll get into some of the nuances of it. Go ahead. Keep peppering me
I'm gonna decipher some of your notes here.
Yep.
I'm right in the middle here. Let's get to the run game.
Okay.
You said Jones impressive.
Yeah.
The pass rush. So he was impressive not only in running the ball.
Yes.
But you also liked them chipping on Donald. You thought the running backs did well even when they didn't have the ball.
They did. They were smart. Well, the big thing is, first off, if I just had to make one glance, the Rams defensive line had no chance to really ruin the game. And they usually ruin games. 56 and 99 will ruin just about any team in football. Well, the Buccaneers not only pass protected well, right? And yes, when Aaron Donald, let's say Jameis Winston's in the shotgun and the back's to his left, all right? And you're the quarterback. So everybody put yourself in Jameis Winston's shoes, okay? Now, there's Aaron Donald over the left guard. He's on the edge of that outside shoulder of that left guard. Well, Ali Marpet, those guys, they could set inside, and the back would kind of chip his outside shoulder. So it's almost like a double team, but not really a total double team.
Yeah.
But Aaron Donald can see him, therefore he doesn't have that outside move available there. That was very smart, for one. Number two, hey, they just did a good job pass protecting. I got to give them credit, the Buccaneers O-line. But the credit goes to the offensive staff and slowing down Fowler and Donald, who have just about ruined everybody's game the first 3 weeks.
Right.
Because this is where it was. Patience in the run game, one. You want to stop an aggressive, like we were talking about, pass rush, like, we get upfield. Hey, run the ball. Make them think about it. Oh, tire them out. Oh, gosh, it's a double team. All those things will wear you down for the pass rush. But the biggest thing, and I thought one of the best things the Bucs did, they did their best to keep the Rams in base defense.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, the Rams are a 4-3. They're like a 3-4 hybrid team, but 4 D linemen, 3 linebackers would be their base defense, right? And the big thing I mean by that is the Rams, one of their greatest attributes is they want to really play like dime personnel. They want to put 6 DBs on the field or 5 DBs on the field, and they want to like just use their speed and Wade Phillips' creativity with coverage calls and things like that, and they just make the game like a blur because the other team's like, holy shit, they're fast, they're everywhere, it's unbelievable. What do I do? Aaron Donald's on me, I throw a ball, and the guy, as soon as he catches it, it's like pop, 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 and he's down. Like everything is like, oh, we just made it out of that play.
Yeah.
Well, the Buccaneers said, screw that game. Let's make them put some of these linebackers. Let's put Clay Matthews on the field. Let's make Aaron Donald stop the run game. Let's put, I can't remember their other middle linebacker's name on the field. It's better than having to deal with, all their multiple DBs and their team speed that way. So really within that, Littleton, right. Thank you very much, Pete, in the control room. Really within all that, though, it simplifies the defense a little bit because you got to worry about the run game when a team has 2 tight ends in or 3 tight ends in, or, they're basically going. They had some times where they went 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, and one of the tight end moves back to like a fullback position. So they got in some traditional run sets, and they stayed patient with the run game. I know they didn't rush for 100 yards. I don't give a shit. The real thing is they rushed the ball 29 times, legit rushes. And attempts sometimes are more important than the actual yards because the attempts just keep everybody honest.
And Jones got 70. I mean, so he was still productive.
He was effective, exactly right. But the big thing is you have to slow down 56 and 99, and they did that, let alone Jameis Winston played awesome.
So, what'd you think of him?
I mean, he played awesome. The second week in a row, he's played awesome. This is what's crazy about Jameis Winston. It really is because, history has told us this week he will throw 7 picks, and we'll go, what the hell is wrong with Jameis Winston?
Right.
I hope that doesn't happen. But really, the second half of the Panthers game, the Giants game last week, yesterday, this is why Jameis Winston, and he's shown glimmers of this every year. He's shown 3, 4, 5 game stretches of doing this, where you go, this is why he was the number 1 pick. I mean, because he's fearless in the pocket, and he's a pinpoint intermediate to deep ball thrower. And that's what he did yesterday. And the Rams, who don't like to play man-to-man, they play a lot of zone coverage.
Right.
They just attack their zones, like little,
At the seams.
Seams, right.
Yeah.
Little 10-yard out routes by the slot or the tight end, or, fake the straight seam route right up the middle and stop at like 12 yards, and he'll put it on you. Just finding little gaps within the zone coverage, and Winston, with a strong arm and great anticipation and being fearless the way he is, he just tore them up with Chris Godwin.
He was accurate. So he was 6 for 6 behind the line of scrimmage. From line of scrimmage to 20 yards deep, so the intermediate passes, 21 31, 68% for 268 yards and 2 of those touchdowns. So basically whatever he wanted to do. What'd you think of Chris Godwin? He had targeted 14 times, 12 catches, 172 yards. It's a huge game, 2 touchdowns for him.
He's the unforgotten man. I mean, there was obvious, when Mike Evans was split out by himself, they usually rolled a safety over the top of him, played a cover 2 or 2-man type of look to take him out of the way. And yes, that left a lot of room and favorable matchups with 3 receivers versus zone coverage on the other side. And Godwin's a hell of a football player. He is. This is the reason Deshaun Jackson, they didn't care about him being expendable and not being there. Yeah, he might not be the deep threat, but Godwin is great route runner, great with the ball in his hands, as you saw yesterday. He can play physically, he can break tackles, run people over at the goal line. But really a awesome number 2 wide receiver. And when you have him and then a guy like O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate to work the other side opposite him in the slot or, in the seams like I'm saying, it's tough to cover, especially when you're a zone defense. Zone defense, just think about if you're a linebacker, right? It's zone defense. And, I'm kind of responsible for that tight end area, that seam tight end area that you're talking about. Right. Play action fake. Gosh, okay, no, wait. He kept it. And now you're getting back and the tight end's 7 yards behind you, and you don't know exactly where he is, and Jameis Winston throws the hole. And the Rams need to dabble in man-to-man a little bit more than they are. I think they're playing too much zone. But big story is great game plan by the Bucs. Did they get the short field? One time, yes. They just kept answering the bell. I think that's what I'm impressed by. And I really thought one of the big plays of the game for the Bucs, and we'll move on to the other side of the ball, is – It's 38-27, okay? And
2:10 left in the fourth quarter, the 2nd and 5 one?
No, I'm going to go to the Mike Evans, okay? I thought this was peculiar. Maybe that was it. 12-10. 12-10 in the fourth quarter. That's right.
12-10.
You might have the one missing there.
Oh.
It's down there. I think you were right. 2-10. It said 2-10, and it's 12-10 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah, 12-10. Yeah, 12-10.
38-27, 12-10 in the fourth quarter. It's 2nd and 5. And Rams go all out. Like, no safety in the middle of the field. Just 3 guys across the board. Cover the 3 receivers.
Yeah.
And Marcus Peters is unluckily on Mike Evans, which is like a disaster. They do a little play action fake, so the blitz kind of gets slowed down because they're going after the run for a second. They protect well, and as you saw, Jameis threw the proper ball down the middle of the field, and that was really the point where I went, oh my gosh, they got him. Yep. Because at 38-27, I was still going, the Rams are just going to keep coming. I don't know if they're ever going to stop them.
Sure.
But that was a huge play. Also, I want to give their kicker, Gay, okay, for the Buccaneers. Hit a huge, it was 28-20, okay?
Yeah.
28-20.
Okay. We don't normally give kickers
I know, but I
credit
give him
on
a love
this
because he had a 58-yard field goal to make it 31-20.
Okay.
Not only did it give them the 11-point lead, but if he had missed that field goal, the Rams were kind of rolling, and they're going to have the short field coming off that miss, and you're going to go, oh, gosh. There was some big pressure. So that was a ballsy call by Bruce Arians and a great kick by Gay.
Matt Gay, 5th rounder out of Utah.
Is he Utah? That's what it was? I couldn't remember.
Out of Utah.
Yeah, I was. It's as good as I've seen a team
That's
do.
the last time we'll talk about a kicker.
Yeah, okay,
never
that's
again.
it. I'll never do it. I'm sorry I did it. The hell with all of you. But yeah, I just was really impressed by the game plan of the Bucs, the offensive line not letting Fowler and Aaron Donald ruin the football game. Jameis Winston and Godwin just tore their ass apart.
And Rams defense moving forward, problems, issues here?
Well, I think this will be something as a game plan going forward. I think you're going to see teams do this. They're just going to go, well, you know,
keep the base defense out
keep
there.
the base defense. Let's slow them up. Let's try to get Aaron Donald a little tired within the run game and make him defend that. Because what we talked to, well, you weren't here last week, but what we talked about with
I'm always here in spirit.
Okay, good. Thank you, spirit friend.
Yeah.
Is the Sunday night football game, Rams versus Browns. The Browns played into their hands a lot of times. It was always spread out and, we're going to throw and whatever else. And then the Rams could just pin their ears back and go, okay, let's go get Baker. Let's
play
get
our
Baker.
13 defensive backs.
Exactly, right, and get after it.
Cool.
Right.
All right, Bucs O versus Rams D.
Yep. Get it out of here. Get that trash out of here. How dare you do that to my artwork?
It was just a copy.
Gosh. Okay, you're right. This is the original.
You got the original.
The
Keep
original,
that one.
yes.
That's a Mozart
It's
right
a Mozart. Good. Well played.
Rams O versus Bucs D. So here was the most surprising thing.
Yes, go ahead.
I was ready to come in. So this is what I had my numbers.
Yeah.
You know, I like to look at the numbers. So I had, Jared Goff, 45 of 68. That's 15 more attempts than any other quarterback this week.
Insane.
Yet his quarterback rating was 14th out of 24. So it wasn't like he was necessarily that productive with the 68 attempts. And only 3 of the 68 were more than 20 yards down the field.
Yeah.
By design, I heard you on Football Night in America. He said he might be getting confused at times out there. So I was ready to come in and have this be I told you that, as you said before, that Jared Goff's not the greatest quarterback ever. He's solid, but he's probably not going to live up to the #1 billing. So I thought you would come in here and crush him.
Right.
And that's not going to be the case.
No, it's not going to be the case. It's not. And this is why you watch the film. I mean, this really is, because TV can't tell you everything.
Although you watched it on TV.
I watched it on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm going to apologize and start Pro Football Talk tomorrow.
Really?
To say that I was a little, because even today I was like, man, Jared Goff just looked a little off. And, hey, the offense looked off. And I'm not sure if Jared Goff can carry them. It was one of the best games I've ever seen Jared Goff play.
Wow.
I mean, if not the best. I mean, I feel really good in saying that. First off, the Rams O-line got their ass whooped. I mean, whooped, okay? Vita Vea, I always say his name wrong. Vita Vea.
Vita Vea,
I
Vita
always
Vea.
say it, Vita Vea. Okay, Vita Vea and Sue are a load in the middle, okay? So they were phenomenal against the run, but they can push the pocket and disrupt the quarterback that way. Shaquille Barrett is the NFL defense MVP right now.
You think so?
I mean, there's no even I don't think you can argue it. When you have 9 sacks and you're forcing fumbles and intercepting passes, I mean, he's been the most dominant defensive player I've seen in the sport till this point. I can't believe I'm saying that. I loved him when he was in Denver. I used to speak very highly of him on my old podcast. But I didn't expect this kind of superstardom. He was unblockable in this game. He whooped the shit out of everybody on the Rams D-line. Every one of them. He took a turn on all of them.
O-line. Up until the final play.
Up until the very end.
Where he did the swim move and then forced the fumble, and Sue got it and took it in.
Exactly right. Right. I mean, he did so many good things. And let alone, like I said, the first interception by Goff, forced by Shaquille Barrett, hitting him as he throws, ball goes up in the air, interception. Third interception by Jared Goff. It was a fourth and 2, okay? They're at the midfield line. The Rams mess up the pass protection, so somebody goes flying right up the middle. Jared Goff has to throw it, right? It's 4th and 2. He's got to try to make something happen. It's 4th and 2. Well, they have a little pick play. It's a one route, one-player design. There's nobody else to throw to. It's like a bunch, right? The two guys are going to run straight, and the inside guy's going to kind of come out of 3 yards, and you just try to get a cheap first down that way, right? Well, not only was the protection bad, but Shaquille Barrett was on the end of the line of scrimmage there. He kind of busts upfield, gets a hand on the ball, pops it in the air, interception. So forget about the sacks, the tip balls. It's all the other plays, too. He was all over the quarterback. So the Bucs D line whooped the crap out of the Rams O-line, okay, for one. And that's why Todd Gurley had 16 yards and Brown only had 14 yards, and they just said the hell with the run game because they knew it.
So they were disruptive in not only – it wasn't like a situation where the Rams – because they didn't run a whole lot. They had 11 total rushing attempts here. Gurley had 5. Malcolm Brown had 5.
The game didn't dictate it because they got down, but even when they tried, there was nothing there. Okay. And let's not forget, they got back to 28-20 to where you can get back into the run game, and they weren't having it. That was not going to happen. But the big thing is this with Jared Goff, okay? Only one of the interceptions was his fault. He threw the one to Levante David. Levante David made it look like he was in a blitz and then dropped out. Jared Goff was throwing a little under route. So my point is this. He was under duress. He took a beating in the game. I mean a beating. He got hit a lot. And he made a ton of big-time throws, Ahmed. I mean a ton. And I'm not just saying the guy's wide open 5 yards over the middle of the field and he got hit and then the guy ran for 15 yards. And I know you said the bombs weren't there and everything, but there was a lot of 15-yard outs, 12-yard outs, 20-yard routes into tight coverage, crossing routes at 15 and 18 yards where the coverage was phenomenal and he put the ball on the money with people around him. Right. And I got to give Jared Goff a lot of credit. Now, listen.
Because that's what you said. You noted that here. They were playing the 3-deep zone. And so the blame for not going deep, that was basically what the Bucs were giving them.
They were. They didn't give a whole lot of deep shots. Now, they had 2 chances when they were down 21-17 at one point. He had a guy down the right sideline. He missed him. They ended up settling for a field goal. Okay? The very next drive, now it's 31-20. He missed a deep post for a touchdown, too. Now, when you throw the ball 68 times, you're going to miss some throws. Again, so I don't look at it and go, oh, how could he miss those? I mean, how could he do that? There's guys all over football yesterday that won football games that missed throws like that, okay? Yeah. And it's a lot easier said than done when you're getting your ass beat into the ground all game long. Sometimes, there's a deep post and, you get it out of your hand just a hair quick because people have been around you all game and you see him and you rush and, let me get it out because I got him. Yeah. Oh, I missed him. How did I miss him? Well, you missed him because your timing clock is off because you've had to throw it quicker. So, again, I'm not saying it was perfect, but I think it's encouraging because one of my issues with Jared Goff is that I don't know if he can carry the team like a franchise #1 pick, $34 million a year can. I saw things yesterday where I go, damn, he might be turning the corner and maybe he can carry the team. So kudos to Jared Goff and company. Okay. I was really impressed with what I saw there.
And it was more of I'm reading the defense, I'm making plays. It wasn't necessarily a talent thing that you were surprised by, right? Was it
talent too.
It was the whole package.
It was the whole package. I mean, because he's been served up what I call a lot of silver platter plays in his life with Sean McVay.
He's made it easy. Sean, who you like a lot, obviously.
Right.
And he's made it easier. He makes it easy on any quarterback.
He does, exactly right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, Tom Brady gets a lot of silver platter throws too, and a lot of other great quarterbacks do. There's nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, Sean McVay is was the king early on in Jared Goff's career of like, hey, here's a 20-yard completion. It's coming to you on a silver platter. If you can just put it in the area, he'll catch it. But it's these kind of moments that make me feel good about a franchise-type quarterback. And, yeah, the Rams got their ass beat up front. That was the issue of the game for the Rams offensive side of the line.
And the Bucs had a lot to do with that.
They did. The Bucs brought it. And the Bucs could very easily be 3-1 if they didn't mess up a field goal at the end of last week. And
from this game right here, a lot of times in the NFL you say, oh, that's a weird result, right? It's a blip in the whole season of 16 games. You're going to get some weird results.
Yeah.
But the way you're talking about the Bucs and Shaq Barrett and Jameis Winston and that offense, and then you have Bruce Arians, this is a team that could make a run.
They're dangerous. They are dangerous. Yes, they are. And if Arians can stay a little patient with that run game, and Jameis can stay off of Tropic Thunderville, right?
Yeah.
Then they do have a chance because their D-line is not going to be pushed around by no team in football. And Todd Bowles is a hell of a defensive coach.
One more note, Todd Gurley played 76% of snaps. So that's good. If you're a Rams fan, that's good to see.
It is a good thing to see.
He was out there in a game that had a ton of offensive snaps. He was out there for 3/4 of them.
Yep, no doubt. Yep.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.